Previously, Baki manages to get into the Arizona prison and meets with Biscuit Oliva, the strongest man in the United States. He also meets Iron Michael, who turns out to be his roommate. Baki learns about Mr. Second, who is a worthy opponent for Oliva, and this makes Baki curious about his identity. In the prison, all the inmates are taken out of their rooms for attendance check. The head guard briefly introduces the rules of the prison. The head guard warns every inmate that if the rules are broken, guns will be shot immediately. Suddenly Jun Gevaru, aka the Second, walks into the group as the head guard continues his evening ritual. It seems like Jun Gevaru, a man known as Mr. Second, a powerful inmate who seems to enjoy special privileges within the prison. Jun opens a pack of smoke and causally listens to the guards talk as if it was a fun talk show. It's dinner time and Jun doesn't like pork, so he was given an omelet while other had pork and beans. As the dinner time proceeds, Jun notices one of the guards has changed his revolver. The guard gets nervous and fears for his life. However, Jun just checks out the gun and puts it back. As they continue to eat, the old man next to Baki informs him that the man sitting opposite to Jun wants to challenge him. The man comes from Japan and has never lost a street fight in US. Baki watches as Jun and the challenger start a heated conversation. The challenger easily splits his spoon into fork, and to top that, Jun folds him spoon by just pressing with his fingers. This enrages the challenger as he feels belittled. He flips the table and challenges Jun, also called Mr. Second. The guards rush to intervene, but Jun takes the gun from them and hands it to the challenger. Now with the freedom to easily shoot Jun and take his place as the new Mr. Second, the challenger tries to pull the trigger. However, Jun kicks him faster than he could pull the trigger. The challenger immediately falls on the ground in pain as Jun blasts his wee-wee off. Everyone is shocked at the speed of Jun. The challenger wants a real duel, and so to keep things official, Jun asks the guards for permission, and they start a duel in the basketball court. Jun easily defeats the challenger with sumo-style fighting. As the inmates finish their dinner and head back, Baki talks for a short while with Jun. A guard holds his baton against Baki and orders him to not have any personal conversation. Baki takes the baton from the guard and, just like Jun, crumbles the steel baton like a piece of paper. Jun is impressed by the move. However, Baki gets solitary confinement due to his actions. Baki is stripped of any clothes and just in his undergarments. He is sitting in the dark, cold room with his hands tied behind. After some time, the old man from his room sneaks in some foods for him. He generously feeds Baki as Baki continues to ask about Jun's real identity. The old man reveals that Mr. Second gets special treatment for a reason. He is a president of a tiny country in South America. The old man talks about the mischiefs Jun did before coming to the prison. He started off as a pirate who would loot expensive cruises near his island. But soon he could see the conditions of his people and how poorly they were treated by the rich man who came for expensive vacations to their island. Jun had intensive trainings in different fight forms from his grandfather, and to change the fate of his people, he trained them in a similar way. He banned the use of all weapons and trained his men to excel against fights with weapons as well as bare fists. Jun soon completed his army of weaponless fighters. He was young, so not many people believed in him. However, the most hatred came from the President of US, George Bush, who saw his young leader as a threat. Things soon changed the tide when one of Jun's men managed to infiltrate into the security and be President Bush's personal security. During the closed conference where President Bush was planning the destruction of the island, Jun's man threatens to snap President's neck and starts a live broadcast. It turns out Jun has visited President Bush's family at his Alabama residence and has removed every security with his fists. Seeing his family in danger, President Bush agrees to Jun's terms. After listening to the story of Jun, Baki wonders how and why he is in the prison. The old man reveals, like Baki, Jun wants to fight the strongest man in America with his bare hands. The world has finally realized that without weapons, anyone can infiltrate any nation and cause a security risk. Especially men like Oliva and Jun can easily tackle armies with guns and projectiles. The old man reveals that there are 3 men who are currently under satellite surveillance. Oliva, Yujiro and Jun are under surveillance by the Army of US. What's more amazing is, when these 3 men exceed walking speed, all the artificial satellites around the world follow the targets, and thus the GPS around the world which uses those satellites shift by 70 meters. A guard walks up and smacks the old man, breaking his thumbnail while Baki and the old man resume their talk. Baki is enraged by this and confronts the guard. The guard, feeling belittled, when Baki says acting cocky won't grow his hair back, the guard charges at him, only to be kicked by Baki. The guard trips over the rails and is about to fall in the middle of the brawl, but Baki saves him. Jun has been watching all the fight from far and tells Baki to let go the guard and not help him from falling. As the guard holds on dear life, Baki pulls him up with his hurt arms. Jun notices it and remarks that Baki is overly sensitive and soft-hearted. He also tells the Baki should have let go of the guard just as he should have ended President Bosch as they are Americans. The guard is humiliated by the scenario as he is assisted by the inmate he was tormenting. Baki has been in prison for 3 days and is settling in. As the inmates start their jail work by doing road work, the guards are surprised at Baki's strength. He pins each pole in 2 hits into the ground while even Iron Michael takes 3 hits. Baki congratulates Michael during their jail work break since he will be leaving the prison in a month and joining all-rounder heavyweight boxing in 3 months. The World Boxing Committee, on the other hand, does not want Michael to return to the ring because they do not want to hand over the winning championship to a criminal. As a result, the committee makes a generous donation to keep Michael in prison in whatever way they can. The jail chief summons Mouth, a group of 3 people tasked with ensuring Michael is unable to fight for the rest of his life. They talk in sync and speak one syllabus each, which sounds very eerie. They are lip, tooth and tongue, and t'other they are called mouth. They also fight in the same sync as they speak, which is powerful. They are in the arena waiting for Michael. Michael is taken out of his room and taken to open ground. Unaware of the tragedy that is about to unfold, Michael talks to Mouth as he has also heard things about the triplets. Without any warning, Mouth members start their attack. Without any hesitation and warning, they start their attacks one after another, which baffles Michael as he wasn't prepared to fight. Soon he takes his stance and is ready to defend but is already beaten up heavily. Michael is equipped with boxing techniques, however, against 3 and more hits, Michael feels helpless. Michael is overpowered and defenseless against the simultaneous attacks as 3 of them attack at the same time. His former head coach, Sam D'Amato, has created the magnificent peekaboo fighting style. This style makes the fighter bring the glove so close to the jaw that it leaves bite marks. Then by weaving, ducking, bobbing, and circling and moving the upper body at a dizzying rate, a near-perfect defense is achieved. Michael takes his peekaboo position, but he is defenseless against the 3 hits from the mouth at the same time. They also explain that in boxing, a fighter can at most avoid 1 hit, but they have the advantage as they will land the rest of the 2 punches easily. As one of the mouth members holds Michael's head, the other 2 members continuously hit his head, completely making him pass out. The guard watch in horror as Michael takes the punches and kicks helplessly. As Michael is lying on the ground, mouth members say that he was surprisingly weak and easy to defeat. This fight, according to Mouth, is a perfect example about good teamwork against individual fight. Jun steps in just as one of them pulls out a knife and is about to sever Michael's tendons. Jun's abrupt interruption catches Mouth off guard. Jun opens fire on his fountains, drenching one of the triplets and forming a circle around him as the 3 begin to fight. Jun collapses to the ground as Mouth begins striking. When the wind picks up, Jun shrinks back to his original size to fight. As the 3 attacks at the same time, Jun brings down one with a single kick. The fight is over in a matter of seconds. Michael praises Jun and expresses gratitude for salvaging his career. When they return to their room, Baki is kneeling. He wants to offer a duel, and Jun says Baki can do it whenever he wants. Suddenly, Oliva enters the room to meet Jun. He challenges Jun to a battle and admires his fighting techniques. They both agree that their conflict is still ongoing as they reminisce about their upbringing. Baki becomes enraged and impatient as they begin to boast about their lifestyles. Oliva begins to reveal his true motivation for being the strongest fighter in the world: to please his love. Jun's motivation, on the other hand, is to fight for others and save those who are weak and helpless. Baki has had enough of their self-praise and stops both Jun and Oliva. His action is unwelcoming and leaves everyone startled. As Baki shares his point on the reasons for fighting, he swiftly gets thrown away by Jun and Oliva. Oliva proceeds to share his prized handkerchief from his girlfriend's hometown. He talks about how they are madly in love with each other. Oliva believes the handkerchief is the world's most stimulating and fragrant thing. Jun asks if it was a gift from his girlfriend, to which Oliva say if it was a gift, It would be too stimulation for him, so he just purchased a handkerchief from her hometown. Oliva says he can feel the presence of her through the handkerchief. Definitely this form of love and obsession is very strange for June and other people around the room. June spits on the handkerchief because he is upset and irritated by Oliva's strange obsession with his girlfriend. This enrages Oliva, and he dashes off to wash his beloved property. If you enjoyed this recap, check out the next episode. Also, don't forget to subscribe for more anime recaps, turn on the bell notification for future uploads and leave a like to help the channel out.